fourth day, the move is seen as a prelude to a ground offensive aimed at forcing the troops out of Kuwait. The US is also sending in state-of-the-art Patriot anti-missile systems into Israel as protection against Iraqi Scud missiles. Israel's ambassador in Canberra, Mr. Zvi Gadar, says his country won't be able to absorb the damage from the Scud missile attacks for much longer. Mr. Gadar says the Iraqi attacks have generated anger and outrage in his country and are being viewed in a most severe way by the Israeli government. The Australian government today urged Israel to show as much restraint as possible and said it recognised the pressure the state was under. Federal police are being asked to investigate a false campaign telling young Australians they've been conscripted to the Gulf War. Defence Minister Robert Ray has revealed that letters with false Defence Department letterheads have been sent out indicating to young people they've been conscripted. Speaking on the Nine Network Sunday programme, Senator Ray said it wasn't known who was behind the campaign, but said the matter was being placed in the hands of federal police.
This sort of campaign has to be stopped on, in my view. There is no intention whatsoever of using conscription or mobilising reserves.
The International Red Cross is gearing up for a massive exodus of refugees from Iraq. It's reactivated camps in Jordan and is conducting an appeal to fund new refugee centres in other countries. The effects of the war aren't all bad. Wholesale petrol is set to fall in Australia by about 0.5% a litre from midnight tomorrow. The chairman of the Prices Surveillance Authority, Professor Alan Bills, says retail prices could soon be under 70 cents a litre. This is ABC News.
Summer all over. Neville Oliver with you, standing in for Mecca, who will be back with you next week, actually. Now, coming up in the last half hour of the program, we'll be talking to Tim Rice, the songwriter. And if you'd like to give us a call, I'll give you a phone number. If you've got some points you'd like to put, 008 030 777, 008 030 777. Just had a phone call from a lady from Queenstown, Iris Pettigrew, who rings us sometimes here in Tassie, saying various things to us, and she slipped in a little request. Iris, this is for you.
I could not understand why so many others loved you too and tried to take your hand. Oh, Roisin, my Roisin, I know you know just what I mean, and I feel love and sadness when I think of you, Roisin. And down the years in words and song, your lovers reminisce. We dream our old familiar dreams of the lady in the mist. Yet still today we will not ask what you want us to do. Why do we hurt the ones we love and claim to love you too? Oh, Roisin, my Roisin,
like in Toowoomba?
Well, it's a beautiful morning. It's pleasant. It's not hot. It's not cool. It's just a lovely morning.
Great day for golf. Or a barbie.
Yes, fantastic for a barbie. It's just the right day for a barbie.
Barbie in a sip. Now, what would you like to do?
Well, I'd just like to send a cheerio from home call to all the truck drivers that are stranded at Cunderdin.
How many are there?
Well, there's a lot there by now.
Like
There by now.
like hundreds?
Well, maybe not hundreds, but yeah, quite a few. Well, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 5 at least that I know of, and there's a lot more that I don't know of.
How long have they been there, Jude?
The date from just here, my husband said, days now, and likely to remain there for days, and I guess they're starting to get a bit sick of it.
Well, the floods seem to be a forgotten issue, don't they?
Well, they do with the Gulf War, and, I guess that's sort of understandable, but, I just thought, well, it'd be nice to send a cheerio call and just remind the fellows that we are thinking of them. And I guess they would like to have a shower at home and a lovely home-cooked meal in their own house and just hang in there. It'll happen one day.
Yeah, I bet you. Yeah, nice thought, June. So to all those blokes up there at Cloncarry, may you get out quickly. All right, thanks, June.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. June from Cloncarry. As I say, I suppose the major events in the world have just sort of swamped, if that's the right if that's the right word, rather, the things that have gone on in Queensland. You're listening to ABC Radio. The songwriter Tim Rice, who in conjunction with Andrew Lloyd Webber has been responsible in recent times for some of modern music's most popular operas. Tim Rice is also a cricket lover and has just spent a couple of weeks in Australia supporting his beloved Ponds. I caught up with him at the Sydney Cricket Ground and asked him about the now defunct partnership with Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Well, it was very enjoyable. It produced 3 shows which did very well. Joseph and the Amazing Technical Dreamcoat, Jesus Christ Superstar, and Evita. We had a very good run. There's always a chance we might do something else together. We see each other reasonably regularly in England. He's done a lot of shows since, which have on the whole done very well, particularly Phantom of the Opera and Cats. I've done a few shows, and I suppose the most successful of those has been Chess, but that's been a limited success. It did very well on record, but wasn't quite as successful as I hoped for on stage. But I've done a lot of other things as well, mainly in England, ranging from presidency of the Lord's Taverners, a lot of broadcasting, writing in newspapers about cricket. I've even written a book about cricket, would you believe, called The Treasures Abroad, so I've been fairly busy.
What about songwriting, Tim? It's something that I don't think that a lot of people would understand. I certainly don't plan to know a thing about it. How do you get your inspiration to do the sorts of great things that you've done?
It's very difficult. I think with a musical, the key thing is a great idea. And all the wonderful musicals of the past 20 years, or even the past 100 years, have been great ideas. And the idea, the concept itself, is often more important than the actual quality of the music and the lyrics, although if they're good, that helps as well. And it's impossible to say where the inspiration comes from. For example, with Evita, which I think was a very good idea, although I didn't know it at the time. I happened to hear a radio program about him on in 1973 or 4. I knew nothing about this woman beyond the fact that she was Argentine and dead. When I heard that program, I thought, this is a great story. It could be right up our street. So really, that was the inspiration, I guess, but it was luck, because I happened to hear the program when I did.
How long would it take you to put together a show like that?
Most shows take anything from 2 to 5 years to create and put together, because any musical is an enormous undertaking. It's like setting up ICI or 2 is beers or something. It's an enormous enterprise. You've got to not only write the thing, you've got to get together all the people who are going to help make it work. And that includes not just the cast, but the musical director, the director on stage, producers, investors, financiers, lighting. It's a massive, great undertaking. And an ordinary album, which most writers or pop writers or rock artists can turn out 1 a year if they want to, that's often a major Australia, and I enjoyed the city production. Enormously, the show ran for 6 months. It wasn't a huge success, but at the same time it certainly wasn't a failure, and I was very happy about it every night. I wasn't nervous because I thought it was a good show. And ditto with Superstar. But, for example, Chess on Broadway, I was very unhappy about that during rehearsals and during the previews. I thought this is not really the show I wanted, for which I must take some of the blame. So when it came to the opening night, I just didn't turn up. I breezed along at the very end in order to give the cast the impression that I was there. But in answer to your initial question, I think you're nervous if you think you've got a duck show, but if you've got something that you think works, then you're quite relaxed.
Well, I have heard the tale that in the back of your mind somewhere there could be an opera about cricket. Is that a possibility?
Well, Andrew and I did do a little piece about cricket about 5 years ago for the Queen's 60th birthday in England. It was a private effort. We were commissioned, as it were, by Prince Edward, and we wrote this 25-minute little operetta on cricket, which was a tragic tale of a batsman who was going out to play the innings of his life when he suddenly noticed that his girlfriend was being taken behind the pavilion by an absolute rotter. And what a decision, Neville. What would you do in that situation?
I think I'd declare.
He either had to bat for his team, or he could get out quickly and sort out his love life. In the end, he decided to bat for his team, as I'm sure you would after some reflection. And this was a good move, because while he was batting and winning the match, his girlfriend saw the error of her ways, mainly because she was being molested rotten by this absolute shyster. And when he finally came out having won the match and the hero of the village, she had repented and seen the folly of her ways.